Microphone testing, 1, 2, 3. No webcam testing. There's no webcam. No webcam. That's intentional. Alright, folks. So, welcome to the stream. For those of you who are tuning in. So, it shows upcoming commentary. So if you see the thumbnail, it's the one with Yuno Gasai on the thumbnail. Leave, and then I was just making the thumbnail. So this one should be coming down later on at 1 p.m. So we're gonna get started by doing the commentary for. We're gonna start off by giving off the commentary for Yandere Pursuit. So you see the one with Yuno Gasai on the thumbnail. I just picked that image because that was actually a frame that I actually took from when I was when I was watching Future Diary. It appears in the very end of the first episode. The very end of the first episode, you see that one frame. So if you're at the end of the first episode before the credits, that's where it appears. So anyways, let's get started with the Yandere Pursuit. And oh dear. Hold on, let me just adjust something real quick. Into the live section, manage. This is just for the future stream. Edit. There we go. And that should fix the problem. So I made this after I made my third Yandere ASMR reaction video. So currently, that's when I made this. So I made it after I made the third one. Can you excuse me real quick? I'm gonna go ahead. Sorry about that, I was just checking off and I had to censor some private information. I'll trim that out of the stream. So this stream is going to be privated temporarily so I can censor out some private information and stuff. That's just some settings that I have. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get started with the commentary. The redoing of the commentary. So I'm going to view the chat from my phone. Probably no one is watching the stream this morning. So yeah, it takes place in Jacksonville. So yeah, this first part takes place in Jacksonville. So I had like a few options. Texas was out of the equation since they didn't handle blue alerts like the way I would have wanted it to. Because first of all, blue alerts are not sent over EAS in Texas. Like, not all states sent over blue alerts to the EAS. Some states don't even have blue alerts, like New Jersey, for instance. So Tennessee, they sent them over NOAA. They're NOAA originated. Same thing with their Amber alerts. They're NOAA originated. So there's CAP originated, and I chose Florida because they were CAP originated. Nothing particularly leveling towards the story. It could have taken place in like Tennessee, but that would have been a little interesting, like going from Memphis to Nashville to Knoxville or something. That would have been interesting. Or you know what, like Knoxville to I didn't really have time to do that. So anyways, I didn't really feel like I had time to like do the live commentary. No one is watching the stream. I'm just the only one. I'm just looking at the chat just in case anyone comes by on my phone. I have the chat available on my phone just in case anyone like this stumbles upon this and stuff. So I've just decided to stumble upon this on my own, just in case anyone stumbles upon it. So what I'm gonna do is redo the chat and then like all that stuff and do all the commentary. So let me go ahead and play it.
A civil authority has issued child abduction emergency for the following counties.
So yeah, it's the Cal voice right here.
At 12:25 p.m. on September 23rd, 2023, effective until.
So we have the voice of Cal.
PM. A Florida Amber Alert has been issued for George Truman, white male, 17 years old.
The age gap was very specific. The age.
135 pounds with round.
So the age gap was very specific. I'm gonna rewind this back a little. The age gap was very specific between the characters, and I had to make this work because like Amber Alert criterias, I kind of wanted to make it work around criterias, certain criterias and stuff, but I had more of a focus of the EAS alerts and the scenario, which I think it's like the pacing is a little bit too fast. It's very fast. The pacing is actually pretty
135 pounds with brown hair and green eyes.
Oh yeah, that hair color and eye colors, George's hair color and eye color is the same as Serena's from Serena Evelyn, like from the freezing one, and later on El Lobo Negro. So that's like interesting. That's like an interesting detail that I have here.
Last seen in Jacksonville, Florida. The child may be in the company of Violet White, white female, 18 years old, 5 foot 3 inches, 100 pounds, brown hair and purple eyes. The purple eyes were an accent, first of all, like a sporty car, you know. It's a luxury car. I've been inside one actually. Like, I don't know if I mentioned this, if I'm allowed to mention this, but I've been inside a Land Rover before. They're pretty nice. I could have actually gotten the actual beeping sounds from the Land Rover when the engine starts up. Like the beep. Hold on, let me just see if I can find footage of it. Land Rover engine beeps. It's like it beeps in like an E flat. So it beeps in an E flat. And it has a beep that is reminiscent of, I believe, the Dodge Charger beeps. And the Crown Victoria beeping noises. So anyways, Peck has been confirmed to be mentally unstable. Of course, like all yanderes. Extremely dangerous. The suspect has also been reported to be extremely possessive over the victim. If you have any information on the whereabouts of this child, please contact the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office at 904-630-0500 or 911. Yeah. Yeah, I've really based this off of the Florida Amber Alert script right here. So I based this off of the, and here's the Blue Alert script, and this is the reason why I picked Florida. I just chose the Pico voice, but you never see it again, actually. It's interesting that you see it for this one instance, but you just never see it again.
I believe there's like one other video that I featured the Pico voice, but I'm not sure. I don't really remember that much. I have like 2,000 videos on my channel, and I don't have all of them on my head all at once, or all the titles I put in. Heck, I even have like 2 videos titled Bark.
23rd, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. A Florida blue alert has been issued for Violet White, a white female, 18 years old, 5 foot 3 inches, 100 pounds, brown hair and purple eyes. She may be traveling in a white Land Rover Range Rover Sport. The suspect is wanted in connection with the murder of 2 Florida state troopers during a police pursuit in Orlando, Florida. She is also wanted for the abduction of 17-year-old George Truman, which she did out of obsession.
Oh, so she's older than George
Florida.
Truman, so she's the
Is
senpai.
located. DONOT approach. Contact law enforcement immediately. If you have any information on the whereabouts of this person, please contact the Orlando Police Department at 321-235-5300 or 911.
Yeah, this one is just very basic in terms of it, but what's a good storyline? I just chose to make a good story out of this. And this is the
An active shooting is imminent in Dolphin Mall.
So with this one, I went with Microsoft Zero, although I typically don't know. It could have been Cal for as far as I'm aware of, but I chose Microsoft Zero because I just kind of like it. I had to take some liberties when it comes to it in some cases. No, you have to take some liberties sometimes. I'm just adjusting my volume, you can probably see that.
Miami. The suspect has been identified as Violet White. This individual is
I
extremely
thought it was really cool that I included
dangerous
this.
and mentally unstable, and should not be approached. The individual is wanted by the Florida Department of Law Enforcement for the kidnapping of 17-year-old George Truman in Jacksonville, and the murder of 2 Florida state troopers in Orlando. This has prompted a blue alert and an amber alert. Law enforcement is currently responding to the situation at this time. Avoid the Dolphin Mall area. Those near the area should shelter in place until further notice. The City of Miami and Miami-Dade County officials will provide further updates on this situation.
So there's that. You can kind of hear it in the background. That is just me watching over the stream. Oh, there's like 2 people watching. There's a second person. Hello? Hello there. Second person that is watching the stream.
The active shooting threat has ended.
So this one is
The
just your
suspect,
generic
Violet
active
White, has
shooting
been
threat has
apprehended
ended.
and is now in custody. The victim, George Truman, has also been found safe. Therefore, the Florida Department of
Nintendo
Law
gamer.
Enforcement has canceled the Amber Alert and the Blue Alert.
Good morning. Or afternoon or evening or night or whatever. I'm not sure where you are in the world, but it's morning where I'm at. So there's the credits where I just basically use the Kevin MacLeod, and there's like all the resources that I've used, the text-to-speech voices, and all the programs and stuff. I actually used a Linux machine to get the Pico voice. So I'm not sure how to get it on Windows, but I'm assuming you're gonna have to use WSL. I'm gonna see if I can get it through WSL. So here it is, and of course what I do is I'm gonna show you guys something, what I did. Because usually what I do on this one is I actually have this one be the recommended video, or like a video that is recommended. like I have the option, and usually what I do is actually best for viewer. But then I decided to do this one, like recommend this one because I want people to like watch the actual audio drama because it's really really good. Oh, there's a stream. Next up is Yandere Pursuit, the audio drama, which in the title is just simply called You're from Chicago? Oh, so you're in the same time zone as I am, so nice. You're in the same time zone as I am. I'm from Texas, so that means I'm from the same time zone. I'm from Texas. More specifically, a border city in Texas. That is not El Paso. And that is not the Rio Grande Valley. I'll give you a few hints. It's not in El Paso, which obviously not El Paso. So I'll give you a guess. So it's a border city that is in Texas, that is in the central time zone, that is not in the Rio Grande Valley. What is that city? Okay, no response. I'll just make sure they see. Correct! Actually, you're correct. You're absolutely right. Laredo. I just don't like to make things like very direct. So from Laredo, down here in Laredo, I went down to Mexico before. Bangkok! Bangkok! Oh my goodness, Bangkok. Alright, so we're gonna do like the Yandere Pursuit. So a bit of a warning. Yeah, please heed this warning on the screen. That is on screen.
Warning. This video contains sensitive topics such as kidnapping, violence, emotional manipulation, and trauma. The profanity in this video will be uncensored. Viewer discretion is advised.
Yay, I can cuss in the stream. Yay, I can cuss in the stream. You know what that means? I can cuss in the stream. Fuck yeah. Okay, hopefully I wasn't a little too rude, but so here's like the first character that appears.
Always find something that amuses me. Always playing games, aren't we?
Okay, when I was doing like Dr. White, like which is the character that appears here, I was the one who voiced him. It was actually a secret character, so you see like in every kind of promotional material, I was marking the character as question mark, question mark, question mark. And it's not revealed until the credits. So when I was doing the voice, I was like going through Audacity and making sure that no traces of my American accent were shown.
How fun.
To pull off this British accent. And there's the iPhone ringtone. I think I really did a good job in the sound design here.
George, it's Lucy.
It's really immersive.
Hope I didn't wake you.
No, just been tossing and turning all night.
And all the sound designs were done by me.
Just wanted to hear your voice.
Like that. I recorded that myself, the sound.
It's just
Of the sounds of George coming out of the bed, that was just me recording
lots
that.
been on my mind recently. Thanks for checking in.
Anytime. And hey, if you ever need someone to talk to or just hang out with, let me know.
So,
I appreciate that. Really.
You know, sometimes a distraction is all you need. Want to catch up later today?
Sounds good.
I'm gonna
Let's
turn
set
off
something up.
annotations real quick
Thanks,
so you
Lucy.
can.
Don't mention it. Remember, you've got people who care about you.
So if you don't know, guys, annotations, which is like an old feature on YouTube. So you see that watermark, that little gateway star icon in the corner? So you can actually turn that off when you click on turn off annotations.
Talk later.
That's like a
George.
little trick that I
Thanks,
know.
Lucy. Talk later.
I'm not sure of how many people know about this. And for the typing sound effects, I just used a Dell keyboard. A really old Dell keyboard. So you're gonna see Violet enter kind of abruptly.
Good morning, Georgie.
Violet, this is unexpected. What's up?
I missed hanging out with you, and I heard your folks are gone for the weekend.
So in mind, I had a higher pitched voice for Violet in mind. Like more like reminiscent of, I don't know, Livity. If you've ever, you might recognize her from like a reoccurring channel that I react to, like for the Yandere ASMR roleplay reactions stuff.
And
So if you, so And I also did not have the British accent in mind the entire time, so there's that. That was like kind of a last minute thing for casting. I thought it just would have been interesting. And also her voice reminds me of like the devil from Bedazzled, yeah, Bedazzled.
I'm just doing the usual. School, video games. How about your adventures?
Mean having some fun with my car, a few joy
I think the
rides.
deeper voice just makes her sound more mature and stuff. But the higher pitched Violet would have probably been a little bit more interesting in my opinion. It would have just make her sound like crazy, like, you know.
Oh? What kind of fun?
A bit of a supercharge, an upgraded suspension, and a performance chip. The Angel's never flown faster.
So guys, I apologize for last night's stream if the audio was a little bit off, like I had some audio issues. But I made sure to check the audio.
Damn, must have set you back a bit.
Let's just say I got a deal.
Just a deal.
Ever heard of the golden rule, Georgie?
Treat others the way
Well,
you want to be
treated.
treated.
Exactly.
So, what else did you tweak?
Well,
What did you want to find out
wouldn't
first?
you like to see it for yourself? The experience of blasting through the road is just mesmerizing. It almost feels like flying. I want you to see it for yourself. All you have to do is take my hand.
Alright, leave it with.
Alright, lead the way.
Yay! You won't regret it.
So here's the scenes, and you see like there's like a
Remember, I'd
scene
have to be back
indicator.
home by 11.
Another thing I just later on did with El Lobo Negro was I actually had a audio visualizer.
Don't worry.
Even for the
when you
even for
fly-
the EAS radio segments, like I had an audio visualizer, which I think really greatly actually increased the project.
In the Angel, you're in the
It gives the
moment.
viewer like a little
You
bit of a
forget
visual.
what time it is and where you are.
Wow, that's a nice interior.
Pretty neat, isn't it?
It doesn't look like the stock interior.
It's custom, honey. The seats, the wheel.
Okay,
and
there's like a little.
bit more.
I don't know why like the Audacity just kind of screwed with it. Like
Even added a little bit of
RGB.
Kinda reminds me of my gaming rig.
Oh, here we go with like me. Like I had the opportunity just to nerd out.
Oh, is it
When it-
going with your new computer?
It's certainly an upgrade over the iMac since
I just decided to nerd out in this
it
segment.
runs Windows without having to use that boot camp thing.
If you don't know what boot camp thing is, it allows you to like get a Windows partition. So this is actually a real thing for Intel Macs, which George is clearly implying that he's using an Intel Mac. Using an Intel Mac. So first of all, let me explain this. Boot camp allows you to partition your hard drive with a Windows partition. So it gives it a Windows partition. So you can like run Windows on a Mac. This only works with like the Intel Macs, which have an x86-64 processor from Intel. The newer M1 Macs use an ARM processor, which that's a little bit more difficult to handle. So I'm just explaining a little bit of like giving you a little bit of a computer stuff. Like this is based on very real concepts.
No? I still use the iMac though. It just runs Linux now.
Okay, so fun fact, I actually corrected the voice actor like for George Truman, like when he said like, because initially in the audition he pronounced it as Linux. It's like no, it's Linux. I was like, because like first of all, that's what I was like I wanted to make George make sure that he was like knowledgeable about Linux stuff, and it's kind of a little bit inspired. Like this kid is like is just like one of those, like I kind of know like the Linux subculture and stuff. Like
But hey, at
At least
least
you
on the
don't-
Mac you don't have to worry about those NVIDIA drivers.
that could just install a backstory, because you know like NVIDIA drivers are like notorious for being horrible to use on Mac, or like because like NVIDIA is like all proprietary with their drivers, and Even Linus Torvalds, the guy who made like the Linux kernel, just he outright voiced his like distaste for Nvidia when he just literally on one of his talks he literally flicked the finger at Nvidia, and it was like he was like, Nvidia, fuck you. I'm serious. He's like, I'm probably just rambling, guys, and you're probably not paying attention to my rambles and stuff, but I'm just giving you a little bit of insight of what it's like.
I'd have to install some wireless drivers to get the Wi-Fi working on the Mac.
Oh,
For the Mac, I just use Arch. I'm kidding. It's Debian. For my rig, on the other hand,
So okay, Debian, that's back in the day, like when I was writing this back in October. That's back when I used Debian on the iMac. Now I run Fedora on it. And trust me, the wireless drivers, they could be a little bit of a pain on Debian. Like you have to like install the firmware for it. But what's even more of a pain, you can only access the drivers, the wireless drivers, the Broadcom drivers on the iMac on Fedora. You have to install RPM Fusion to get them. That just sucks, honestly. Okay.
I just put Windows 11 on it. I consider dual booting.
Windows 11, that's the operating system that I'm using for this. So I can just do a WinVer. And then you see like, and hey, what's really cool is it says like Gateway Star or Gateway Star. That's just me customizing my windows and stuff. So you see like Windows 11. I'm just talking all about like how I made this whole project.
Linux on it, but I have the Mac for all my Linux needs.
cool.
Where exactly are we going?
Somewhere I can test the speed of the angel.
There ain't a Daytona speed?
I like how daring Violet is, like kind of a daredevil in a sense. Like really willing to put herself in danger. I like that part of her character, like the thrill-seeking part of her character. It really just makes sense for her character. But you can tell, like, I did not have, like, her British accent in mind in the beginning of the script writing. Because, like, there's certain lines of dialogue. That I have.
Way around here.
Close. But I was thinking of somewhere closer.
Close, but I was thinking of somewhere closer. That would be an excellent meme.
Let's just say.
Why was there no windows on where? I didn't. Oh, if you're referring to the Mac, that's because first of all, I tried installing Windows 11 on it, but then like it said your PC can't run Windows 11. So I installed Linux on it. And also like certain versions of Windows, like they have like requirements, like for instance Windows 11, you see they have like the TPM 2.0 requirement and secure boot requirements, so you need a UEFI system to run Windows 11, which I do have a TPM 2.0 on this laptop and I have secure boot all the Windows 11 requirements on the laptop that I'm using to stream on this. As you can see that I am actually running Windows 11. So, where was I? Also, it's also because the OEM. Oh, Windows 9. I have absolutely no idea why Microsoft decided not to include a Windows 9. Because I guess they were just marketing Windows 10 as the last version of Windows, which actually turned out to be a lie because there's a Windows 11. I was like, when like Microsoft introduced Windows 11, I was like, what? Microsoft? How? You lied to us. Anyways, sorry, I just couldn't read the message from the chat. I'm like reading the chat from my phone. So like, I'm reading the chat from my phone. I have an iPhone to read the chat from, so anyways.
The highway.
The highway? You know the speed limit only goes up to 70.
With the
You see, I did my research because first of all, 70, like that's the maximum speed limits in Florida. In Texas, it's higher. It goes up to 85. Like when I'm going when I'm like going through trips from Laredo to San Antonio, which I've taken I-35 very often. So the speed limit goes up to 75 miles per hour. So, and yeah, like it goes up to 75 miles per hour.
your limits are meant to be broken.
What if you get pulled over?
I'm not going to let that happen, darling. I've done my fair share of street racing. Besides, what's the worst that could happen?
I like how daring is like carefree Violet is. It kind of is an excellent foreshadowing to their character.
Besides causing an accident or having the cops chase us down?
So do you guys have any do you have any questions related to the story so far? Do you have any questions related to the story so far? Like, have you watched the actual scenario of like both the scenario and the audio drama? Do you have like any questions? I'll feel free to answer them as we're going along and as I provide my commentary.
Angel has her ways of disappearing. It's magic.
Like where she whispers.
Well, anyway, I need to refuel,
And here's where basically the gas station where I basically use American lingo. Yeah, Microsoft lied to us.
perhaps a little extra for that plastic container that I have in the back. We're going to be burning a lot of fuel.
I like the foreshadowing that I've done. I've done like very good foreshadowing.
Luckily for us, we're approaching a gas station.
It's like because you see gas station because the Brits over there, they don't call it a gas station. They call it a petrol station. They don't call it gas. They call it petrol. So that's just something.
Can you get me anything? Maybe like a glass of milk?
Sure, you'll
Bad the stew. Okay.
need it. Just be sure to save it for the ride.
Yeah, like there's like one of my commenters pointed out is like, if you ever go out with friends, first rule, buy a drink by yourself or go in with her. That was Georgie's first mistake when he didn't go in with her. Second, how is Violet in the house? He understands that she's a friend, but if she somehow got in, I would be very concerned or that she got in without George knowing. By the way, voice acting is very good. And I explained to him like, for your first point, you're right. It was because George didn't go in with Violet that allowed her to sedate him. For your second point, I wanted to keep the way Violet enters a mystery, so I didn't really explain how. Maybe she gained his trust. Who knows? Thanks. I really appreciate it. So that's basically like some guy actually just pointed out how I mentioned NASCAR. That's Fire Unfolds, like who voiced Lucy and later on Elizabeth. Who voiced Lucy in this story as well as Elizabeth in the next story that I'm going to be doing with. We're going to have the voice actor for El Gordo, the character, be joining us. I happen to know him personally, so he's a great guy, honestly. So do you see the battery indicator on my... Also, do you see the battery indicator on my... Oh, I did not know that. When you hover over this part of the taskbar...
Ready to fly?
Let's just see what happens.
Oh, I like that. Let's see what happens.
I'm kind of curious to see
See
what
what
the
this-
angel can do.
Oh, Georgie.
Sport-
Sports cars are like gaming PCs. They were built for performance and fun.
Yeah, you can see where my philosophy, where I compare sports, where I kind of written in Violet comparing sports cars to gaming PCs, because they were built like really like this kind of philosophy that I have. She does make a point for that line, because you see I'm using a gaming PC with like, or rather a gaming laptop with like an RGB keyboard. It's, if you want to know the keyboard, it's the same one that I used to create this one. Like Yandere Pursuit is the first EAS scenario, the first story that I've actually made using my Dell laptop over here. If you want to know the specs of what the computer I'm using, it's a Dell G16 7620 with an Intel Core i7 and an NVIDIA, hold on, an NVIDIA RTX laptop GPU. Let me just neo-fetch real quick, just figure out what it is. NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3060 laptop GPU, but it also has the Intel Iris Xe graphics. It has 16 gigabytes of memory and a 1 terabyte SSD. So if you want to know the specs that I use on my laptop, and I carry this thing as my, and this is my production machine. This is like my production laptop, which runs Windows 11 Home. So if you want to know like all the specs that I use, I highly recommend. So here we go.
That makes sense. Do you remember that one time we went to the Daytona 500?
I like the,
Yes,
I like the.
Warning. This video contains
Could happen.
No.
Hold on tight. That one time he happens.
I'm kind of curious to see what the angel
I had to
can
like,
do.
I accidentally
Oh,
back
Georgie.
parted.
Sports cars. That was fun. Wasn't that one?
To the Daytona 500?
Yes.
Is this where like the team from North Georgia, was that the guy's name? Yeah, it was the team from North Georgia. There's actually a little trick that you can do. Yeah, that is him. So there's actually a little trick that you know that you can do on a browser. So if you click on I'm rambling all over the place, and I think it's fun just to ramble stream. I should do, guys, let me know if you want to see ramble streams where I basically ramble about whatever. Whatever. So if you want to see ramble streams, if you want to see me rambling live, please let me know, and I will just feature ramble streams. And I will feature something which I like to call a ramble stream.
That was fun. Wasn't that one time you dared me to sneak into the pit?
Where I just ramble about stuff that I'm really passionate about. So if you want to see me do that on live, I will gladly do so. Ramble streams.
Yeah, and I can't believe you actually did it. You're always pushing boundaries, aren't you?
Only when I'm certain I can get away with it. Remember the look on that security guard's face?
No, it was priceless.
I put a
Highway's
little.
coming up.
This is where the fun begins.
I don't really know the highway systems of Florida that well. I know the Texas highway systems. Like there's like when we go out through like Laredo, when we're on our way to San Antonio, by mile marker 30 or 29, between those mile markers, there's a checkpoint by those mile markers. So there's a border patrol checkpoint by those mile markers, and then there's like Catula is I think around mile marker 66. No, it couldn't have been. It's in around the 60s of mile markers. And you approach San Antonio, like in Bexar County, around mile marker 120 to 140. Somewhere around there. My goodness. I know, like, very well.
Are you ready, darling?
Well, here goes nothing.
Well, I'm glad you're not telling me the odds.
Like C3PO.
Nah.
Yeah, that was a reference to Empire Strikes Back. Like, I felt like you saw, like, Violet say earlier, this is where the fun begins. That was, like, a bit of a reference to Anakin Skywalker from the prequels, from the Revenge of the Sith, where he's like, this is where the fun begins. And I felt like the prequel meme references were, like, not forced on, like, the freezing one, which I did it. Which they were pretty freaking forced in that one.
Hold on tight, darling. Things
Holy
are about to
crap.
come to us.
Holy crap.
You might want to consider a sip from that glass of milk I gave you. It might
I don't know
make you
why I
feel
timed it.
better.
The timing just felt a little bit forced. That was just me drinking the water. With that gulping, that gulping was actually just me.
Happening. I feel weird.
Is something wrong?
Hold on, how long have I been streaming for? 42 minutes! Wow, I've been doing a lot of rambling.
I just feel
This has just become a ramble stream.
Violet, slow down. What did you...
This has become a ramble stream.
I didn't want you to know that I would go this far.
Hey, do you guys want to see... Hey, chat, do you want to see any more ramble streams? Like, do you want me to see ramble streams where... No. Typically, I go all the way to San Antonio. However, the thing is, I can't tell you when I depart to San Antonio. No, I have gone all the way to Austin before, but rarely. But typically, it's always San Antonio, and the thing is, I can't disclose with you how, just for security and privacy reasons, I can't disclose with you when I go out of town. Those are like secret, because first of all, it's for safety. It's for my own safety, and there's just certain things I can't disclose with you on this chat, like personal information, or any like personal information details. It's just, I have to like, it's just certain things I have to uphold.
Once we run away, you'll be mine. You know, Georgie, you always did get my heart racing faster than any car could. Oh, you look so cute when you're sleeping. Such a pity I can't watch you for a little longer, because, you know, I have to keep my eyes on the road.
Okay, this next scene is really, really cool. So let me just give you the precursor. So you're gonna hear whispering like in the both ears, guys. So you're gonna hear whispering in both ears. And you're gonna hear Violet singing and humming and stuff. I've like said it, I put it on the script. Hold on, let me, if I can pull up the script real quick. Yandere Pursuit Google Docs. Here we go. Yandere Pursuit Google Docs. So here's the actual script. It's available, so I can just post a link to the script. Sleeping? Is he Islamophilic? Hold on. Wow, I never thought chat would somnophilic define. Here we go. I don't know. I've broken a lot of boundaries. I've like broken a lot of like kind of stuff. I went all out, and I went out with this story with like no restraint. So here it is. Hold on, let me keep scrolling. So you see, like, the setting continues in the car. Violet is calmly singing or humming, which will be improvised. You see this? It says improvised. That's the script, so it says improvised. Oh yeah, like what I did for... Oh, I showed my freaking email, didn't I? It doesn't matter, it doesn't matter that much. That email is associated with anything I do with the brand, so like, it doesn't really matter. If I showed my personal email, that would be a problem. So, Violet is calmly singing or humming, which will be improvised. So this is what the voice actress did. Kat was her name. So you see. So what she does is she's humming Once Upon a Dream. And this is from the 1959 Sleeping Beauty. The 1959 Disney animated film. The 1959 Disney animated film Sleeping Beauty. So you hear me whispering? That was me whispering. It's whispering. So it's binaural, so I think it's really cool that I've done something binaural. So you hear something different from each ear, so I think that's a really cool effect. It's honestly really creepy. And I thought the singing was so creepy and so good that I decided to include it for a teaser, which I didn't really plan on making a teaser.
Well, the angel has a way of disappearing.
So here we go.
All you have to do is take my hand.
Any other questions?
I'm just taking you somewhere we can be together forever.
Rick Astley! I'm sorry. I can't unhear it. Like, you can tell I was trying to rickroll. And this is literally a part of a joke teaser with a joke extended scene from Yandere Pursuit, which really should have been an April Fool's joke. In my opinion, it should have been an April Fool's joke.
Together forever. Together forever.
And then the whispering fades out. So here we go. And I just moved around lines. And I've reused that laugh like 3 times.
What happened? Wait, it's 12:24. You tricked me.
I just wanted to take you on an adventure.
So this is gonna be the most inaccurate part, is how quickly they were able to issue the Amber Alert. Because, like, I don't know, that's something you typically get wrong. That they were able to issue, like, how long they typically try to take to issue it. I don't know how quickly they can. I'm sorry, guys. I've just yawned.
We've just passed Daytona Beach and are now approaching Orlando.
Orlando?
Daytona Beach? Orlando?
Oh, the echo is just, it's a dreamlike effect that I really wanted to do, like a more of a dreamlike effect right there. And that's kind of what I was going for. So that was kind of something I was going for. So you're gonna hear like Dave in the background. Unlike the scenario, it's gonna be Dave that is reading both the blue alert and the amber alert, if you don't know. I went with that because most radio stations use a Sage digital end deck. So it would make sense. Guys, I'm about to sneeze. So if I do sneeze on stream, just make sure to tell me bless you.
Wait, what have you done with my phones?
And you notice how I said phones in plural, because the kind of character that I wanted George to be is maybe he does have Android and iOS, probably. Because that's something I tried to do, but I couldn't.
No, you did not.
And that thought was just me.
You don't want to break something.
I'll just escape whenever I have the chance.
Don't even try. You're mine now. I'm just taking you somewhere we can be together forever.
Oh yeah? What are you gonna do to stop me? Whoa.
Gun! A gun! I told you! I don't know if I told you, but this story is pretty dark, actually. I don't know if I told you guys, but this story gets pretty dark.
Please shoot me. He's probably not even loaded.
Oh, it is alright.
I don't know.
Wait. It's a Dodge Challenger. Looks like a Hellcat to me, a black one. But something seems off about it. It's following us.
A Challenger.
There's just a little bit of mystery. I wanted the car. I went a little off the rails by coming up with something called the Eclipse of Justice. I just like, I don't know what I came up with, and I think that's like the most badass thing I've ever come up with in the story.
That's so fitting, darling. My dear George, it's probably just a coincidence. It could be an unmarked cop car, but the only place in Florida I've seen law enforcement use a Hellcat is in Marion County.
No, seriously, something seems off about this one.
And scene 4, and this is where my character gets introduced. Also,
We're about to do some possible 1088 with the 1027.
This is Master Sergeant Paganini.
It should have been Paganini. Because it would have made more sense for his accent to do it like that.
1063, yes? 1046. We are just about to 1031.
And yes, that's me doing a New York accent. Okay, what's your question? I already knew this was dark before. I already clicked on this. I already knew this was dark before I even started watching or clicking because I've heard the term yandere. Good for you. Honestly, I know. So, yeah, I've watched some anime with yandere characters like Future Diary, or by its Japanese name, Mirai Nikki. Mirai Nikki. So I watched it like after, like way after producing this. I believe like in December or something. That's when I watched it. So,
10-4.
Willie and Sim, do you know why I call this my golden unicorn?
Sir, it's just a Dodge Challenger.
You see, this is no ordinary Dodge Challenger. This is a Dodge Challenger SRT Demon.
oh, so it's a demon. That is like, if you have no idea what the demon is, it's like faster than a Lamborghini. That thing is a beast. And for what? Like, and you can tell that FHP probably modified it a little bit. Oh, my Paganini accent is starting to come out just a little bit more. So if you don't know, like, I did a little bit the accent. Okay. You know, I'm really getting into character when so let me explain it. So it's like faster than a Dodge, than like a Taurus or a Challenger, or a typical Challenger. So it's, these things are freaking fast. So let me explain it just a little bit more. So let me just explain it a little bit more. Paganini, like the name, you may have remembered. Okay, someone is walking in.
Are you on the phone?
Sorry about that, someone just walked in. I just hit the microphone. I'm sorry about that, guys. Someone just walked in and I didn't think like that would happen, and someone walked in, so I have to hit the mute button on my keyboard. Let me just check the audio real quick. Mic test, mic test, mic test, mic test, mic test, mic test, mic test. And audio test, audio test, audio test. And
One of the fastest cars in America. This demon, the Eclipse of Justice, has quite the story, you know? Confiscated from one of Florida's most notorious
Confiscated.
drug lords. Rumor has it he had it custom built to outrun.
And I wanted to imply that, hey, this was like related to El Lobo Negro, which like I was even considering having El Lobo Negro related to Yakuza.
Us at every turn.
So
And it did. Until we caught him.
this is the
fastest police car
I love this
in America.
monologue.
Even faster than the Tauruses and the Chargers.
I love this monologue.
Most Floridians think it's just a myth, an urban legend.
It just shows how passionate
Here it
Paganini is.
The ultimate tool in our arsenal. A perfect name too, considering.
So, anyways, what I was saying, like Paganini, you might remember if you're a classical musician, especially a violinist, you might recognize the name Paganini, Niccolo Paganini. So this dude was probably one of the greatest violinists in history. He was so good that it was rumored that he sold his soul to the devil just to get good, which is very fitting because he's driving a Dodge Demon, so it totally makes sense why Paganini was like super good at the violin. So like there's only one person watching this, so like if you're wondering why I'm pulling off a bit of an accent, because I'm super passionate about this, you know.
Eclipses any chances criminals think they might have. In the Sunshine State, this car is the dark shadow they should fear.
Seriously? Another one of your long-ass lectures, Paganini. We're just chasing two teenagers. It can't be that serious. Is everything okay, sir?
All right, Williamson. Thanks for asking. And now I hate to admit
I love this.
I'm actually
I just love this.
you really enjoy this.
This is like my S tier script writing. This is like the best thing I've created.
Brings me back to my teenage years, street racing across Brooklyn. And yes, from the police in some classy muscle car like this one. Except only this time,
The roles are reversed.
And I think it's time that I put my street racing knowledge to good use. Williamson, hit the lights.
Yes, sir.
I just used for the button pressing, I just used an Xbox controller just for the sound effects for that.
Also, can you handle the radio chatter? My undivided attention will be required.
Yes, sir. All units near my 1020, please 1023 and be prepared to join 1031.
10-4.
Oh, that voice was actually like the one that was like 10-4 was actually the voice actor for El Gordo, who would later appear as El Gordo.
No, it can't be.
What is it?
The Eclipse of Justice.
What? The Eclipse of Justice?
It can't possibly. That runners right. It can't possibly right.
It's like the most.
Which reminds me, with the angels, there are no limits. I won't let some scary monster take you away, George. You are already mine and mine alone.
And bump.
Shit. I can't outrun him. It's just like the legend. The eclipse of justice always catches up.
There's more of them.
Let me guess. Tejo's
She meant to say Tahoe.
charges.
I don't know why the pronunciation was like Tahoe. Chevy Tahoe, those are basically like shorter Suburbans. I've been inside a Suburban before. I've been inside the Tahoes. I've been inside a lot of vehicles of these cars. I know what I'm talking about when it comes to cars. I know like a lot of them.
The Explorers and the Tejo's won't be much of a problem. The Charger may be a little difficult, but not as much as the Eclipse.
I don't know. Did it cut off right there? No, did it? The audio cut off a little?
This is Trooper Lights Rooms. All units in the 1080 of the suspect vehicle board the pursuit now. We'll take it from here. We need a patrol unit when the suspect is apprehended. 10-4.
And the audio stops.
Pretty good fight, White. Bold of you to try and outrun the Eclipse of Justice. Now, release
So like for like Paganini, I was like planning on doing like a fusion. Like what I described it was a fusion between Frank Sinatra and Joe Pesci. I'm not even joking about that statement. That is no joke. I literally said that, and it's like pretty funny, a pretty humorous statement, if I do say so myself.
Just turn yourself in already. Who knows? They might lower the charges.
I'm not losing you. I love you way too much.
That's not love, that's obsession.
Yeah.
I won't let you take him from me. You just don't understand.
Well, I understand, all right. More than you realize. You know, your mannerisms behind the wheel remind me of someone. Someone I taught. A certain daughter of my sister.
Uncle Gio?
He's your uncle?
Giovanni Pagalini. He was my uncle, also a mentor. The way he spoke of cars is like the way a brewer speaks of wine.
My line dialogues
The
and
last time I saw him
my
was when
writing.
he was during my driving test a few months ago. After I got my license, he disappeared. Maybe out of guilt over my father's death, I don't know. All I know is I never saw him again until now.
So he disappeared after Dr. White's death?
Yes, I would rather not talk about it.
I just need to get away.
On your knees, George.
Please, Violet. It doesn't have to end this way.
He's right, Violet. Let him go. Let him go. Violet, think. I never wanted this. I want to help. Don't make a choice that you'll regret. Williamson.
Are you, sir?
I think I broke accent when I said Williamson.
My long-ass lectures.
Especially those.
What has this boy done to you to make you act this way? To turn against your own blood?
You wouldn't understand. You wouldn't understand.
Then help me. Let me in. Tell me, Violet. Tell me.
And then my character dies.
You get in the damn car now.
You fucking monster! How could you? I thought I knew you.
Shut the fuck up. You're beginning to remind me too much of him. Get in.
Alright. Alright.
So you see EAS in
You
background
realize
once
what
again.
you've done? You've made
Okay, I'm the only
everything
one on
so
there.
much worse.
If I can't have you, then I deserve all this pain.
You know, maybe there was a time when I would have felt something.
Oh,
for you,
like towards the
but
end of the scene, I'm gonna
like someone-
cringe so hard.
Someone unique, someone interesting.
I'm actually gonna
Even
cringe
but
so
now,
hard because I wrote like literally the
seeing this
cringiest line of dialogue like
obsessive side of you,
ever.
It's not only uncomfortable, but downright scary.
You don't get it, George. Everything I've done, it's all
For love? Is that what you call it?
You know what? Let's just go somewhere. Just to cool off. Under one condition. You're going to have to stick with me.
Okay, so first of all, yeah. I'm gonna take off my glasses because
Where did you get those handcuffs?
From my uncle's dead body.
Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna cringe at the end of this line.
What have you become? Please don't do this, Violet.
You know what else I got from my uncle?
Holy crap.
What the fuck
Oh,
is
I'm kidding. I just wrote the dialogue.
That, George, is our insurance. So, shall we continue our little adventure?
Oh no, I'm gonna fucking
on,
cringe at the
George.
dialogue!
Say.
Oh fuck no, I'm gonna cringe at the fucking dialogue that I wrote for this script!
Say yes, my angelic
Oh
Violet,
fuck,
my
I'm cringing so
ethereal
hard!
mistress.
I'm cringing so fucking hard. I'm sorry guys, I just thought this line was like cringy as
Like you
fuck,
mean it.
honestly. My apologies.
I am all yours.
And no one is watching
Yours.
right now.
I am only yours.
Good boy. Now you're all mine.
God, please get me out of this.
What
And
was
that's like the
that,
only saving
Georgie
grace.
Porgy?
Because I thought like I didn't want to end it with
That's
that
what I
cringy
thought.
line, so I decided to like include this one, like God please help me. So this is where Lucy gets
Remember,
reintroduced.
Glued to me. Don't even try to run.
Hey, Georgie. Haven't seen you in a while.
Hey, Lucy. How are you?
Hold still, okay? Trust me. Oh, you know. Same old, same old. Keeping the city safe.
I just
One
used a
day at time.
padlock. I just used a padlock.
But hey, who's your friend over here?
Hello. Nice to meet you, Lucy.
Likewise. George, it was a terrible hearing about Linus. I can't believe what happened.
I know, it's hard to accept he's gone.
Changing subjects a bit. I ran into Vanessa the other day. She asked
Well,
about
Vanessa is gonna be a future character from Obsidian, so like, I've already like written in the character just a little bit. She's gonna be featured in Obsidian.
Said you both lost touch?
Oh, yeah, Vanessa, it's been a while.
Who's Vanessa?
Just an old friend, nothing to worry about.
Wait, do you remember Serena?
Oh yeah, Serena, she was nice.
Oh, Serena was a character in is a character within the Freezing one. I thought it was like a cool Easter egg, and later Serena would reappear in El Lobo Negro, reintroduce the character, and I thought like I did, and you'll see like by the next stream, like which should be around 1 p.m. to 3 o'clock Central Time. 1 o'clock to 3 1 to 3 o'clock p.m. Central Time.
Who exactly is Serena?
Oh, just someone George used to be quite close with back in the day. Right, Georgie?
It wasn't like that, Lucy. We were just friends.
Friends that held hands a lot?
So you can kind of see like later on that they were in fact dating. Like I said it like in the it's a school. Okay, nothing new. I'm still the only one. So like, well, you'll just figure out like you'll see like by the next one when Serena makes her appearance.
Spend endless nights talking on the phone?
Can we not do this now?
It seems there's a lot about you I didn't know, George.
All in good fun, Violet. We all have our pasts. Anyway, you two enjoy your day.
How long, George? How long have you been keeping secrets from me?
I'm not keeping secrets, Violet. Vanessa and Serena are just... they're old friends.
And you expect me to just believe that?
It's classic Yandere jealousy. Am I right?
Thing I've done for you.
Hey, let's all calm down, okay? This isn't the place.
Stay out of this, Lucy.
Violet, put the gun down. We can talk about this.
Dispatch. I need backup at Dolphin Mall. Suspect is armed and unstable.
10-4.
What did you just say? Who are you calling?
Violet, please, let's just go somewhere. Let's breathe. Let's just go talk.
I thought you loved me, George. I thought we were in this together.
We are, Violet, but this isn't love.
Put the weapon down, Violet. It's over.
Is it really, George?
Yes. Please. Let's just end this peacefully.
Why? Why can't you see, George?
Violet, please.
No more lies. No more games.
Everyone get down!
Anyone information regarding these individuals is requested.
And there's like the gunshot sound effects, and you're gonna hear the background. I gotta stay quiet for a little bit.
An active shooting is imminent in Dolphin Mall in Miami. The suspect has been identified as Violet White. This individual is extremely dangerous and mentally unstable, and should not be approached. The individual is wanted by the Florida Department of Law Enforcement for the kidnapping of 17-year-old George Truman in Jacksonville, and the murder of 2 Florida state troopers in Orlando. This has prompted a blue alert and an amber alert. Law enforcement is currently responding to the situation at this time. Avoid the Dolphin Mall area. Those near the area should shelter in place until further notice. The city of Miami and Miami.
So like this is where it kind of cuts abruptly from this like gunfire and stuff all the way to like they've kind of toned down the situation. Watch. And it's not the best.
Violet, why are you doing this?
I'm doing it for you, George.
And dog bark in the
You think I
background.
would have wanted this? Look how many lives you put in jeopardy. This isn't love, it's obsession. Love doesn't hurt others. Please don't make this worse. Violet, why?
I've always been overshadowed. Always second best, never good enough. When my father died, my world fell apart. My family, especially Uncle Gio, blamed me for not being there, for not being the perfect daughter he wanted.
But why me?
You're the one good thing in my life, George.
So I'll get
You're
into
the
this
light
later on.
amidst all my darkness.
So like of course she needed like a backstory. For instance, like of course a Yandere character needs like a good backstory to it, like what is their obsessions. Like for instance, like Yuno Gasai, she was put into a cage and she was abused by her parents. So that's like one example. So like I am no psychologist and stuff, but I do know like a lot about like how this can turn out. So anyways, you woke up late? Okay, you woke up late.
The fear of losing you, of once again not being good enough, it consumed me.
In spite of what you may have done, I still forgive you. I was told that love is patient and kind. Violet, please. If you love me, take my hand. Just as I took yours.
I'm scared.
Don't worry. Hey. When you fly in the Angel, you're in the moment. You forget what time it is and where you are. Limits are meant to be broken when you're with the Angel.
You remembered. Before I take your hand, I would like a bit of a drink. I've been through a lot today.
To be frank with you, we both need therapy.
This is probably one of the saddest scenes. When I was like editing this part, I was crying. I'm not even joking. I was actually crying when I edited this. When I edited this part, I was actually crying.
I hope one day you find the peace that you deserve and you've been looking for. Violet, I'm so sorry.
We'll take it from here. You did good, George.
No, Lucy. We did good. Together.
And it cuts off to black. And this is like where the voice actress for Lucy actually sings this. I'm gonna leave this playing in the background as I discuss this. So there's like all the credits and stuff. So do you all have any questions for the story? I'll feel free to answer them. Your questions, you can leave them down in the chat or the comment section.
Tonight I must forget how much I need her. So Mr. Leader, play.
So
Ragtime, jazz time, swing, any old thing to help me ease the pain that solitude can bring.
And there's like my message at the end. Alright folks, this is Gateway Star here, and I just wanted to say thank you to all the voice actors, their performances. This is probably the best voice acting in a voice acting project I've ever seen on my channel, in all honesty. Thank you guys, you really brought my story to life. This story is based on the EAS scenario of the same name. I just simply made this because I haven't seen a lot of good stories on
It's
EAS
true, like I
scenarios.
haven't really seen a lot of good stories because they're just always like formulaic. In some cases they're just always like repetitive with like EANs at the end, but sometimes like just because they do it like a certain way, like a certain things, you don't have to like have an emergency action notification as the climax. That's just boring. That gets boring. Like text on the screen, like if you just put like then to like voice your own opinions and stuff, it gets boring, to be honest. It just does get boring, and I wanted to do something unique with this one, so I embedded ASMR in this one, as you saw like through the audio. This is probably one of the darkest content that you've seen like on Gateway Star on this channel. So do you all have any questions? I'll feel free to answer your questions. However, I saw the potential of a good story from my own EAS scenario, and that's how I came up with this project. Thank you everyone, and have a blessed day or night. This upload has been approved by Gateway Star. I thought that was a fun addition, and this upload has been approved by Gateway Star.
So please don't play a waltz. She danced divinely, and I loved her so. But there I go. Tonight, I mustn't think of her.
So first of all, like the whole storyline, I thought that was really just probably like the greatest stories I've ever told. Like, I'm glad I produced this. I'm so glad I did. I was able to tell a good storyline. I just wanted to simply just tell a story when I was making this. I wanted to immerse people into a story and stuff. And that was like a whole goal when producing this. When creating this. And like storytelling, as like it just shows how good of a storyteller I can be.
So I could just so I delved into like certain elements. There were some parts where I did nerd out about the cars and like about the computers and stuff. I did nerd out. Where it was just being like, I felt free to like nerd out. But also what I have is like, it's also a really good storytelling. The story was actually really well told. It was coherent and stuff. It was coherent, and it was also, I think, like really good storytelling. And that's where I'm gonna conclude the stream. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments or in the chat, and I'll feel free to answer them like do a Q&A. So stand by as I end the stream.